Hey, it's Mazzy. Welcome back. Welcome back to the circus. Whoa, the light came down. Okay, I'm gonna stop. No, let's just keep going. Okay, that's real. This is real. I don't edit these. Yes, I do sometimes. It's the Music Stupid number 50. 50. I should have had a party about this, but I've been under the weather for a few days, congested now, but in much better shape. And I want to showcase 5 records that I pulled from my collection that I love or mildly like. Actually, I love these. I do love them all. And it's the Music Stupid. If you don't know the concept, go to number 1. There's a whole playlist here, and I'll explain it to you. So I'm tired of playing it, but you can get the T-shirt in the shop. Just go to the title page there and look for the shop. And I want to thank Joey Callio of the band Dada War, and it's the music T-shirt on stage at the Triple Door in Seattle. Looks like this was taken from a satellite hovering, many miles above Seattle here. And they're on tour now. They'll be continuing their tour after their little bout with congestion, I'll say. So they're on tour. Great, just great rock and roll band trio. Very melodic, but rocking with some great jams, great dynamics in their playing. So I give them a shout out. And, I didn't know a lot about their music before the last year and a half or so. And they were just amazing. If you get a chance to see them, they're doing a 30-something city tour. So check them out. So it's the Music Stupid number 50. Nothing special about that number, except that it's a round number. It is 50. And I wish I was turning 50 this year instead of the age I'm turning, but that's it. Now, I want to start with an album that originally came out in 1992, only on compact disc by Royco Discs. Remember Royco Disc? I think they were the New England label. They did some really kind of cool stuff. And, this mighty small, was it Maine they were from maybe? Maybe it was Maine. Anyway, they got licenses to the Zappa catalog, the Elvis Costello catalog, the Bowie catalog, and they did put out some new releases as well and some cool stuff. But this is Tom Verlaine's 1992 album called Warm and Cool, all instrumental. So Tom Verlaine, of course, one of the main guitar players and founders of the band Television. And there has been the whole thing in the last year because of the Rhino television reissue about artist intent. What's artist intent when they do a reissue and a remaster? So, to me, I think I understand that. And if people feel that way, all the power to them. Obviously, we didn't know the Television one because he had passed in the last year or so, 2 maybe. And we don't know the rest of the band, their intent either. And sometimes you just want it to sound a little more appealing on modern gear. Now, there was a slight adjustment on here, I understand, because the liner notes on this says so, but just slightly. Judah Kother was Tom Verlaine's partner at this time prior to his death, I guess, and when this album was recorded especially, and talks about this album, and they did a slight adjustment in the tone. Actually, they opened it up and made it slightly brighter on some of the guitar tones, so maybe he does want that, but brighter than the CD. He was there for the CD, so is this against the artist's intent? Come on, chill out, everybody. But this had never been issued on vinyl. It was just issued on Real Gone Music, and this is a fabulous sounding record, I will say. Read the liner notes, Warm and Cool. This is a very reverb-drenched, guitar-based album, instrumental album. So those of you who've liked the sound of the Television guitars, even though you don't have the dueling guitars like you have in that band, and dislike that kind of thin voice of Verlaine, I happen to enjoy it. But some people aren't fans of that. This might be the one for you. I'd say all but 3 songs are kind of mood pieces, and in that vein, in fact, this came out in 92, right? So this came out a year after Twin Peaks. And you know the theme from Twin Peaks, the Angelo Badalamenti theme song of the David Lynch TV series. Down, down, down. The opening of this could be right out of that. It's a little bit of that, but it's not a rip off by any stretch. It's original and it's beautiful. There's avant jazz influences. In fact, some of it reminds me of is it In Silent Way maybe? Or Jack Jones, Miles Davis. There's some jazzy influences. There's some that, twangy ventures like a guitar, but more moody and solo, almost like Exotica bachelor pad at times. But then it gets into some real soundscapes and shorter bits that could be something off a Ry Cooder soundtrack, the great soundtracks that Ry Cooder made for all those Walter Hill films he recorded. But one thing I want to say, when I got the album, I've had this CD since it came out, and I absolutely love this. I had no idea this came out, but when I finally got the album, I realized this is not a light bulb. All those years in my mind, having the CD shrunk down, I thought this was a light bulb. If you don't know what it is, go buy the record and look at it closely, and you'll see what I'm talking about. I'm not going to tell you. You can figure that out yourself. But I would say go to Real Gone Music or your local shop and buy it. Tell them Mazzy sent you. But I did buy it. I bought this locally at one of my local shops, Silver Platters. I had no idea it was coming out on vinyl. Didn't see a pre-release, but I love this record. And they had one copy there. I don't know. I think it just came out over the weekend or Friday. So I don't know if they only got one or a couple in and sold out already, but that's too bad. But seek this out if you like that description, if you like kind of reverb-drenched guitars. Now, apparently, his Judah, who wrote the liner notes, said she picked this around the time period, this photograph. Of course, there he's playing a Vox guitar. It sounds like to me he's playing his, May's playing several guitars and doing sound effects as well, and, guitar tones and with the drumming and the bass. And there is a surreal ambient to some of it, but most of it sounds like it's the Jaguar Jazzmaster sound of a Fender, but I could be wrong about that, and I don't know. But the liner notes are fantastic. The instrumentals are fantastic. This is a wonderful record. Highly recommended. A record I've loved for years. And I tell you, the tone of the I believe it's analog. He was really into tube gear and collected old vintage amplifiers and gear. And if this is an analog, again, this is the Music Stupid, so that's what's first. But this is an amazing sounding record, even on that pink vinyl. It's a little bit of a wave, but nothing bad. So, I have an idea. Anyway, next is a British artist, Julian Cope. This is his third solo album called Saint Julian, as you can see from the cover. He was an original member. He started the band Teardrop Explodes. Before that, he was in various bands, including a collaboration with Ian McCullough, who had formed Echo and the Bunnymen and kicked him out, and he went and formed Teardrop Explodes, who had a number of hits in the UK. And they never really charted in America, but they had a cult following, college radio, and they were definitely known here, as was Julian Cope. And Peggy's Suicide may be my favorite album of his, that double album that's very psychedelic and cosmic and everything. But this is a great pop album with some psychedelia. Most of it is upbeat pop, very in that British sound of the 1980s, but luckily it doesn't have the tinkling of the electronics at 80s. It's a guitar-based rock and roll record, and I love his voice, and his songwriting is tremendous on this. Now, this is the American cover. This is also a promo that I was given by my friend at Warner Brothers, the distributor at WEA, and this was on Island Record, I believe, in the States. It's interesting, is a different cover, and the track list is altered. It's a different order than the British version. Not sure why they did that, but I love this cover. It's just, look at this. He's like, there is Saint Copeland, Saint Julian in a trash heap in a way, recycling center, whatever you want to call it. Fantastic record. Of course, the two key songs in here that were kind of hits around here. FM, I would say, again, college radio hits, are Roll Shut Your Mouth and Trampoline. Very catchy. Hooks galore all over this record. I'd say anyway, you want to get this record, you should get this record. I mean, get it because it's just so good. The only song that really gets into that psychedelia is the final song, which is more moody and slower. It's called A Crack in the Clouds. I don't know, again, the order on the British version, but on this version, it's the final song, which is a great coda for this record. He's also a writer, a very articulate writer. What a number of books, including a book on krautrock. Apparently, it's an amazing book. I haven't read any of his books. He also wrote a book on monoliths, on stone artifacts around the United Kingdom, like Stonehenge and all the many around, I guess, around Europe like that. So this guy is really well educated, and luckily he seems to have, for the most part, survived his heavy acid psychedelia years. But he makes great records. He made great records. This is one. I know I showed Peggy Suicide on another episode early on in this because I absolutely love that record. But Julian Cope's Saint Julian, what a guy. He's like, I think he at least shows up, but he has this kind of ego, that Morrissey thing going. But, you know, if you're going to be in front of band and do all the stuff, all the power to you. Have your ego. You got to if you're an entertainer. Next is a band from The Hague. And ironically, is it another freebie I got from my Warner Brothers friend when I was in the record business in 1978. And this is the American version of Grupo Sportivo's album, Mistakes. I believe the original Dutch version is called 10 Mistakes. I don't know. This is one thing I don't know. The track list may be different, but I'm just going to talk about this record. They're, again, a band from The Hague, a band recorded in Amsterdam, I believe. This is my promo copy that includes a single. And I got a postcard. I realized this postcard was sent to me at my address the 1 year I lived up on Mount Tam in Mill Valley. I won't even show the address, but looked on the back, and it was sent to me on June 1979 from Warner Brothers. That's when I lived there. Yeah, so of course. But here is, now it's possible these were on the original Dutch versions. I don't know about that. They're a fun band. They're a fun power pop band. They have a retro thing going that almost sounds like early 60s groups, almost that post-doo-wop, pre-rock and roll, girl groups, rock groups, a little kitschy at times, but amazing hooks, really well produced, fun, male and female vocals. I like the combination when they have the female vocals better than the main singer. But this is a fun-ass record. Call Mistakes from 1978. There you go. Look at all those mistakes there and all that funness going on. It came out in the States on Sire Records. And I love this record. I haven't listened to it in a long time. I almost forgot about it. It's been many years since I listened to it, but I had a great time listening to it. In fact, the key tracks that I really like, I love the opening track, Mission Paris. It's a great opener. Dreamin' and Henri is great, but Hey Girl is I think that's one of the guys sings. But everything is good. I mean, the whole album is good, full of hooks, full of power pop hits, again, with that retro American rock and roll style. Then an album, this is a second album by a band. I know I showed their first album in an early episode of It's the Music Stupid. And this is a power trio that crosses in psychedelia. I guess they call it new prog. It's proggy. I'd say the first one's more proggy with extended solos and really beefy, a beefy sound stage. And this is Secret Machines. This is 10 Silver Drops. This is their second album. It was originally on Reprise Records on CD only in 2006. In 2019, Run Out Groove put this. That's that label that people vote on, and they put out both these, and they're beautiful. A power trio. They lasted long of this, and then one of the brothers, two brothers are in the band, passed away several years ago. This is probably more classic song-based than the first album, where they're long build-ups and, again, more proggy. So I don't even think this is prog at all. I'm not quite sure how to classify it. It's rock and roll. It's well written. I do enjoy this, but again, the first one, this first Secret Machines album, I like better. But there's something about this record that every time I put it on, I just want to play. It's double album, 33, but it's from the CD era. So that's why. Look at that beautiful, spot varnish covers, metallic ink foil covers, I guess. Beautiful package, originally Reprise Records, silver machines, 10 silver drops. Lastly, since this is about the music, stupid, I'm showing a compact disc because it doesn't really matter the format. Now, this is a record a lot of people I tell of don't even know it came out or don't know much about it. Unless you're an all-in Elvis Costello, and I mean all in. You're getting the Juliet letters, and you're going to his Deutsche Grammophon release, North. This is one of the most beautiful singer-songwriter, songbook type albums, although all the songs are original songs by Elvis Costello. They all have this slow piano. I think some people were just bored to hell of this album because it's not the angry young, new wave artist. But, if you like the Burt Bacharach collaboration he did, I think you might like this. In fact, I think the songs are better on this record. I am in love with this record. I always have been. This is one I may have shown before in the course of a video wishing this would come out on vinyl. I think it did come in Germany only, and it goes for a crap load of money. And I would like, with this, maybe this Deutsche Grammophon, excuse me, I'm all choked up. I love it so much. A series, look at that, look at that. But this is a mood piece. This is a late night, living in an apartment high rise of Manhattan. That's that kind of album. This is a dreamy album. This is like the Sinatra kind of, albums without the Nelson Riddle or any of the orchestration like that. There is some, but it's just a lovely record. Now, my favorite song on here is a song that I put on so many comps over the years. It's romantic, it's sexy, it's cocktail, like literally, 2 a.m. I'm in the mood again. Hail to the taxis, they go where I go. Farewell the newspapers that I know more than I know. Flung under a street lamp, still burning at dawn, I'm in the mood again. And that's just the beginning. It's such a beautiful album. Oh, God. I love this album so much. North, you can only get it on CD for now, unless you are in Europe or you want to pay. And I'm not going to pay it for that. It'll come out eventually. And if Elvis Costello, if by any stretch of the imagination you are watching this video, please talk to Deutsche Grammophon, get the license back, or have them put out a wonderful sounding version of this. It deserves it. North, Elvis Costello. That's the end of the 50th. It's the Music Stupid. Again, t-shirts available. Thanks, Joey, for wearing the shirt on stage. And Mazzy loves you. Take care, everyone. See you next time.